What is up, and welcome to Real Advice in Relationships. I'm your host, Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the podcast. As you're enjoying today's episodes, please rate this podcast, share this podcast, but most of all, download the podcast episodes. So sit back, turn up that dial, and enjoy this Southern girl share some real advice in relationships. Hey guys, what is up? This is your girl Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I'm back today to do another podcast episode. I hope that this finds you well wherever you're listening to it, whenever you're listening to it. I hope that this does find you well. I want to say happy Thanksgiving. This is officially Thanksgiving week here in the States, and I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to you and yours, okay? I want to talk about today on Real Advice in Relationships. I want to talk about having an attitude of gratitude, and that is keeping up with this week's theme of Thanksgiving. Being grateful is something that is kind of hard to do for some people. And I'm not even talking about, the pandemic that's going on. I'm not talking about the hysteria that we are currently living through right now in the year that is known as the year 2020. I'm not even talking about that. Some of us naturally are just ungrateful. Some of us are not thankful. We are not, we don't have a good attitude. We don't have an attitude of gratefulness and thankfulness when it ain't Thanksgiving, okay? When it ain't 2020. Some of us are just don't understand that our outlook, our negative perception, our negative habits are keeping people away from us. Like, people may not gravitate to want to be around you when your attitude is just off. And, sometimes you're like, and I always talk about relationships here on this podcast, but some real advice in relationships, we talking about all kind of we talking about different dynamics over here on the podcast. And on today, we're just going to be talking about being more grateful. And the ways that you learn to be more grateful is first by focusing on what you have instead of what you don't have, okay? So many of us focus on, well, I don't have a car. I don't have the car that I want. I don't have a husband, or I have a husband and he not no good husband, or I don't have my dream home. I don't have my dream job. We focus on so much of what we don't have instead of what we do have. And when you focus on what you do have, there are studies shown that will definitely help you in your journey along. That will help with your mood, that will help with depression and things of that nature. So one of the ways that I learned to be grateful is what I started to do is keeping a gratitude journal, okay? And that is every day when you wake up, write down something you're grateful for. Write down, just think of something, okay? Today I'm grateful for the sunshine. Today I'm grateful for the pretty weather outside. Or today I'm grateful that I have heat. Or today I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. Or today I'm grateful that my children are healthy. Or today just find something to be thankful for, okay, every single day, and write it down. And another thing that I think that helps people that can help you to be grateful is by texting people in your circle and telling them how much you appreciate them. Okay, this is something that is so minute, so simple, but yet it is so powerful, okay? And that is finding a random person in your phone. It could be somebody in your circle, and just sending them a text. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue tied this morning. Sending them a text and telling them, "Hey, I want to tell you that I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being a listening ear. I know that, listening to me complain about my problems or my life or my relationship or my situation isn't always easy, but I want to tell you thank you for being there, and thank you for listening on the days that I need you to," or just sending them a text of telling them, "Hey, I appreciate you for, I know we haven't talked in a while. I know you've been busy working, but I want to let you know that I appreciate the effort you're putting in, and you are very much so a good example of being a good mom or being a good wife, or just your work ethic is impeccable. And I just want to let you know, even if your job doesn't appreciate you, I appreciate you for the work and the energy and the example that you're setting." Small things like that, y'all, they are so small, but they make a huge difference. Not only does that help you be more thankful and grateful for the people that are in your life, but it makes you more visible of the small things that we take for granted. And that is the relationships that we have and the access to the people that we have in our life, right? And just putting out that good energy. You definitely made somebody else's day. There is something that is so rewarding for being able to make somebody else's day be more pleasant, be more happy. They will always remember you for that. They will always be thankful for that. You sent them a text out of the blue, right? And just telling them that you notice that how hard they're working. They're doing double shifts. Hey, I appreciate your work ethic. I appreciate you grinding really hard to provide for your family, or to give your family a better life, or just being a good example of what a hard worker is. That does not go unnoticed. Thank you, I see you. Do you know that the power in that simple exchange? That is so powerful, to be able to transfer that type of energy to somebody else and to uplift their day, to bring them up, because you could be sending that at a time that they most need it. So just know those type of things are small but really huge. And the last thing that I want to say that will help in order to help you be more grateful is to complain less. Y'all, oh my gosh, this is a kicker. And the reason why it is a kicker, because this is the biggest thing to us being ungrateful. This is the biggest contributor of an ungrateful attitude, an ungrateful mindset. And that is complaining. Complaining contributes, at least to me, 90% of an ungrateful attitude. Your complaining is probably keeping you in the same cycle. You complaining about your situation, oh my gosh, will not change a thing, okay? You constantly complaining only keeps you in that cycle, okay? And this is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I guess it's my biggest pet peeve is because I used to be a huge complainer. Don't get it twisted. I still complain. I still can whine. But that is an old way of thinking that I do not want to subscribe to anymore, okay? It's kind of like being a recovering alcoholic, right? Subscribe to being a recovering complainer, okay? And it's just, complaining does nothing. Find a solution. Figure out how to fix your situation, okay? Figure out how to come out of that situation. Figure out how to come out of that negative place in your life, Okay. Something that I learned about myself, because I am a byproduct of coming from a fixer family. We try to fix things. We try to be solution oriented, okay? And when you're backed into a corner and when you fall down, don't stay there too long. Figure out, okay, now this happened. How can I get out of this situation? And if it's one of those situations that is long term, if it's one of those problems or the dilemmas that are long term, in that chaotic situation, I want you to try to figure out how you can change your perspective. What is it that you're supposed to be learning from that whole situation? What is it that you're supposed to be learning? Because truth be told, along this journey, you will not be able to have the answer to everything or fix everything. And sometimes being still is the answer. Sometimes being still and not doing a thing is the solution to that problem, and to allow it to work itself out on its own, okay? And sometimes the only thing you can control most times is yourself, and not necessarily the outcome of that situation. I don't care what goal planning or whatever that we create. Sometimes being still is the answer. And the reason why being still is the answer sometimes is because there is something much bigger at play. Okay. I don't know if you believe in God, but I do. Sometimes along the journey, God wants to remove you from the driver's seat and take you through the journey, because we try to do shortcuts, okay? And shortcuts don't necessarily yield great results, okay? Now, God's journey is the long way around. It's more challenging. The road is more rough and rugged, but through it all, we can say it's the journey that shaped us and molded us and made us into the person or the perspective that we have on the other side of that issue or that dilemma. So sometimes being still is the answer that you seek, especially if you are always trying to fix things. But in this season of Thanksgiving, I want to encourage you guys definitely to focus on what you have instead of what you don't have. Learn to be grateful. And lastly, complain less, okay? Definitely complain less. And these three things will help you be grateful. These three things will help build an attitude of gratitude and help you to shift your perspective and be more positive. That does not mean you won't have bad days. You won't have days that you won't have meltdowns. You will not be exempt from days where you won't complain at all. But that just means that you will have a day and you will get through it, okay? And you won't spend the whole year, the whole left leg of you have on your journey complaining about things that are now behind you, okay? So I hope that this podcast helped you guys today in having or learning to have an attitude of gratitude, okay? And learning to be grateful. And I hope that this podcast finds you well. And until we talk again, it is your girl Keisha signing off. Peace, guys. Have a good holiday. Bye. Hey, guys. Be sure to go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. That's klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. There you can find links to all of my social media platforms, shirts, books, and did I mention I offer free ebooks? Yes, when you go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough, click on the ebooks link and it will take you directly to the free ebooks that I offer. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye.